to this month's edition of OSU Extension Monthly. It's the month of February, and I don't know about the rest of you. I'm kind of getting tired of the winter.
It's okay.
It's okay? Well, I guess it could be a lot worse than what it has been, but I kind of enjoy it when it's warmer. But we're not here today to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about air fryers. So maybe some of you got an air fryer for Christmas. Did you have an air fryer?
No, I didn't.
Do you know anything about an air fryer?
No, I can't say I did. I've only seen them on TV.
Just seen them on TV. Well, I bought it. This is my air fryer here, and I bought it because my microwave went out, and I wanted something smaller to sit on my counter than what my microwave was. And when I purchased this one, it said on the box that it would microwave. I haven't figured out how yet. So an air fryer is one of those things that maybe can make your life easier and better, but it also takes some learning curves to be able to utilize one. And an air fryer works because it's basically a countertop convection oven.
Oh.
Whether or not, this one, as you can see, it opens like an oven, closes like an oven. Some of them have the little basket that pulls out and lifts the basket out. But this one looks just pretty much like an oven. Now we know with a convection oven, they work because hot air flows around the food and cooks it. This particular air fryer will heat up and be ready to go in like 3 minutes or less.
Wow.
Whereas in the oven, if you preheat, it's going to take a little bit longer. So that's one of the benefits of an air fryer, is that it cooks a little faster, heats up faster. The unit has a coil in it that heats up, and then there's a fan in it.
Okay.
And so when you have a fan and a coil, you know, that's what makes it work and makes it cook. You put your food on this particular one, you know, you raise the lid down just like you would for an oven. It has racks in there just like an oven.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it has a little drip pan down here. So I cooked the chicken wings here just a little bit ago before the show, and so I have some drippings down in there. That makes it a lot easier to clean.
Instead of having to work with the big oven.
So that rapid cooking and that air flowing is what makes the food crispy in there.
Okay.
Okay. And the other thing is that you don't have to add any cooking oil. So a lot of people like the air fryer versus a
Deep fryer?
Deep fat fryer, yes, that's right, deep fat fryer. So, and if you have some health issues, you need to watch your fat intake and things like that, then this might be an appliance that you would want to utilize in your home, because you can get some of the effects of fried food without having to use so much oil. Now, you do sometimes need to use some cooking spray to spray onto your rack to keep the food from sticking to it. Some air fryers have, as this one does, a digital screen, so you just punch buttons and makes it work. With an air fryer will come an owner's manual, you know, and I highly recommend that you look at your owner's manual and figure out what you can do and what this can't do. It talks about troubleshooting and questions. You know, there's things that can happen. We may have to cover some of those if we have enough time today. If not, you're welcome to come to the OSU Extension office and we can help you with learning how to use your air fryer. Okay. This unit actually has a rotisserie. It has this type of basket that you can put things in, and it rotates.
Oh, nice.
In the oven. I think this is great for doing like French fries or tater tots or something like that. That you want them constantly moving so that the air gets all around the food and cooks it well. So Actually, this machine is a little more expensive than some you can buy. This one was over $100. They run generally from about $79 to $200 for. So this is kind of a middle model.
Oh,
I
wow.
really haven't seen any myself that are at that $200 range.
Yeah.
But as much as this machine does, with the rotisserie pit, the basket, all of the things that it has with it and things you can do with it, I think I got a lot for my $100.
Nice.
Okay. Some machines, such as this one, can function beyond just being an air fryer, because this one you can actually bake in.
Really?
Yes, you can bake in it.
Ooh.
Can't bake very much though.
No, it's
a small thing, and it does take up as much room as my microwave did. I will say that. So you may find it necessary to cook in batches if you're going to use your air fryer. So it's hard to cook if your family's larger.
Yeah.
You know, if you have 4 to 6 or 8 people in your family, where there's just my husband and I, it works perfectly fine for us. If you're using your air fryer and you like baking cookies or baking like our chicken wings that we have here, yeah, I made these earlier. We went from the raw chicken to the chicken wing. I am going to tell you though, this really wasn't a time saver because it took 30 minutes in my air fryer to cook those 4 wings.
Really? They
Yeah.
smell really good though.
Well, they are going to be really good, and we're going to put some sauce on them and stuff. They'll be
Ooh.
really, really good. But you have to consider whether or not your air fryer is really going to be time saving for you or not.
Yeah.
You know, if you were baking cookies, you could probably only bake 4 to 6 cookies in there. You'd be all day baking cookies. It's easier to do it in your oven. So you got to pick and choose what the air fryer is going to be beneficial for you. Again, with that manual, you got to read it. There's a reason why it's in there. It tells you everything you need to know about your air fryer. Now this one is called a Power Air Fryer Oven Plus. And so that's why I'm saying you can cook in it. And it, again, like I said earlier, it operates just like an oven.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of your air fryers, you pull this out and then you lift the basket out that you've used to cook with. So this one has a lot more features in it. Cooking time can vary greatly with different air fryers. So you have to do some trial and error cooking to find out what will actually work, okay? When you take your air fryer out of your box that you buy it in, of course you want to get rid of all of the packing material that's around it. Because if you don't, you may start a fire.
Yeah.
So be really sure. Some manufacturers put the packing material around the coil, and you may not even think about that. So make sure that you check to make sure there's no packing material around your coils, but that will definitely cause a fire. You do need to use a thermometer whenever you're using an air fryer. Even though a recipe may tell you cook the chicken for 20 minutes, let's say, you need to make sure that it reaches 165 degrees for food safety purposes. So you can't just trust that the air fryer will work. I actually put these 4 wings in this air fryer. I cooked them at 400 degrees. So it's like I was baking them.
Right.
Okay. And the recipe said about 15 minutes. 15 minutes, they were not done. So I put them in for another 15 minutes, and they got very crispy and they're very done.
Yeah.
And you can be safe with eating them. So we're going to do some wings today, I think. I've got some raw wings right over there, and all we're going to do is, I'm going to open up this. These racks come out, so you do need to use like a pot holder. This gets very, very hot. we're going to put those breasts upon, or those wings, I guess. They're not breasts, are they?
Nope.
Just lay them on that rack for me.
Ooh, they're cold.
They are frozen. And that's one of the reasons why it takes just a little bit longer for them to cook if they were not frozen, if they've been thawed. We're just going to place this back in here. We're going to close that door. Power button. It says the temperature is 370. I want it at 100. It's not very quiet either. There's 400, and I'm going to cook them for, let's go, maybe 20 minutes. It'll be kind of noisy, I think. I don't like those because of the noise level. It's kind of loud. Since we've already cooked some chicken, we're going to take these here. And I made a glaze because these are just plain chicken wings. And you know what? There's so many varieties of chicken wings out there these days. They're really good. This is some apricot preserve with some brown sugar in it, and some. You can put other seasonings in it, like maybe some garlic salt or something like that, if you like that flavor. But we're just going to brush this on the wings. And they're going to taste pretty yummy. What I would actually do with these particular wings here is after I brush this on there, I'm going to stick them back in there and let them cook just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open this oven up. Again, I'm going to take this rack, pull it out, and I'm going to stick these on there. Now they won't need to cook for 40 minutes or 30 minutes or 20 minutes even, maybe about 10 minutes. So we'll need to keep up with the timer. Again, that gets very, very hot, so use a pot holder. And let's see, it'll just start on its own. And we'll see how those taste here in a little bit. I also would recommend that if you get an air fryer and you want to use it beyond what you will find in your owner's manual, to pick out a book that has some information on air fryers. Now this one is from Taste of Home, and it has a section in there on cooking with an air fryer. And the recipe for pepper poppers is one that I've used here.
Ooh.
What we've started with is jalapeno peppers. And I know you know how to clean jalapeno peppers. What do you have to do?
You have to cut them open, get a little jalapeno scoop or even just a little knife and scoop all the seeds out and the veins and make
Now,
sure
if you like it hot.
you can leave them in there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they can get pretty hot.
I don't do that. I take it all out. Not only the seed, but the membrane.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have cream cheese and Kobe cheese and Monterey Jack cheese and bacon bits.
Ooh.
Oh, we mixed those up and we've stuffed our jalapeno with it. Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, those are my favorite.
Here's some right here that we've already cooked in there. They say to cook them about 15 minutes at 325, and I think I did 350. I didn't read my recipe. You know, if you don't read your recipe, sometimes you make messes. So it's really important to read. So 325 for about 15 minutes. And don't those look pretty?
They do.
Don't they look yummy? I can't wait to try one. I'm not going to try one right now because I might cry.
Yeah.
I just might cry, and I don't want to cry. So, pepper poppers, you know, pretty quick and easy. Of course, it doesn't have the bacon wrapped around it like the traditional jalapeno poppers do, but still you get the flavor. The next recipe in this book is called air fried pickles.
Ooh.
You like fried pickles?
I love
take
fried
it.
pickles.
Yeah. So if you like them, you'll like this version that's in here, and it just has some cayenne pepper and garlic powder, breadcrumbs, dill. So some flavoring that's on those pickles. I haven't tried these yet, but I think I'm going to. I've got a dill pickle at home. I think I'll slice it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll slice it up and try some air fried pickles this weekend.
You're gonna have to tell me how it is.
Oh, well,
that might be the final stone to get me to get one of these.
well, I don't know. We'll see. Then it has a sausage meatball recipe. The wings that we're doing has the preserves, and you can put vinegar in it if you like bourbon. You like that flavor, you could add a tablespoon or two of bourbon into your sauce. So there's a lot of things you can do with it to make it taste really, really good. Okay. Another recipe that's in here that I think would be really, really good is to do I have to find it, some pork chops.
Ooh.
I don't know about you, but doesn't that look yummy?
Yes, it does.
Looks very good. So I'll probably be trying that one in a day or two or so. I've had my air fryer for about a month, and I really haven't used it much. And part of it is because I just haven't taken the time to learn how to use it. And it does take time to do that. So you can make fried chicken in there. You can make eggplant fries.
Yeah.
Sweet potato fries.
Ooh, yummy.
Regular fries. Now, I will tell you that I sliced my own raw potatoes, and I put them in this basket and put them in there. And just a few more minutes on that, and let it rotate and cook my French fries. I wasn't as impressed with them as I thought I might be. So I think probably with an air fryer, if you use the frozen French fries that are already prepared, you'll have more success with it rather than peeling and slicing your own potatoes.
I can see that.
So you have to play and see what will work and what won't work. I'm also going to try the lemon slice sugar cookies.
Ooh.
Don't those look pretty good? I think those will be good. These take a cake mix. No. It takes butter, instant lemon pudding mix, some sugar, eggs, milk, flour, baking powder, and salt. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to try this
I
one.
think so too.
Yeah, I like that. Well, you may be wondering about how to clean your air fryer. If you have an air fryer that has the basket, you can just pull it out and put it in the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the inner workings, the extra things, such as this basket, I could wash in the dishwasher. I probably wouldn't because when you put food in here, kind of get stuck in all those little holes, so I kind of have to take a little brush and clean them out. This one is, you just open it up and put your French fries or whatever in there that you want to. Now you can lay them on the tray or the rack too, but truthfully, like with the French fries, tater tots, those types of things, if they're moving and rotating around, you will find that they will cook better for you. To clean this appliance, you always have to unplug it.
Right.
You don't want to get shocked by it by any means. You gently wipe it clean on the outside with just a rag.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to have soap with it. Okay. You want to check the coils and all of the workings of it to make sure that they are clean. Just like in a microwave, you got to clean it every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
So that it works. Okay. It's also important when you purchase an air fryer, or whether you got one as a gift or whatever, that you do check the temperature and see what it range, because they can vary.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I have that one on 400 and we probably need to take our chicken out, so let's open that door. And let's pull this rack out. And we will put these on this plate right here. We don't want to use the plate that we had the raw chicken on because that's a food safety issue. I'm gonna, while that's out, I'm gonna go ahead and put some tater tots on there. And we will cook these. I've kind of let these thaw, waiting to get the program going today. So they're not as frozen as they could be. But we'll just do a few here and see how they turn out.
Ready?
Yep, just push it back in. Close the door and it'll start automatically and finish cooking those. You have to check, as they were saying, the temperature of your machine, and it's just like your oven. Sometimes they can be off. So an air fryer temperature can be off. You want to give your food plenty of room. You know, you can't crowd the food in there because there's got to be room for the air to flow around the food to cook. Okay. If you want crispy food, like the chicken that's in there, I may want to, because it's about halfway done, is to open the door up, pull it out, and flip the chicken, turn it over, and that will help it become more crispy. Again, use that thermometer, check the meat, especially meats, like your pork chops and your chicken, if you were to cook a steak in there or something, you want to make sure you cook it to the correct temperature. For chicken, that's 165. Okay. For beef, it's going to be around 145 to be kind of medium cook. If you want it more done, you will cook it up a little higher. But 145 is the minimum on beef. And pork, you know, most of the time they recommend pork at 160. But they've been saying, and there's been research done that shows that you can cook pork to about 145 and let it rest for about 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, and it'll continue to cook, and you'll have a more flavorful pork chop, pork steak, whatever it is that you're cooking. So that's kind of a new recommendation that's out from the USDA, is that pork does not have to be cooked to 160. My husband laughs at his mother really, because she would always, and back when she was growing, you know, cooking for the family and stuff, it was recommended that you cook it to 160, but it really can be done at 145, and you'll find it more flavorful and juicier. So don't overcook them pork chops. As I said earlier, the air fryer is capable of baking. However, you need to note that the additional equipment may be necessary to bake. So if I wanted to like bake a cake in there or something like that, or biscuits or whatever, I'm obviously going to have smaller dishes. Yeah. So the things that I would put into my oven won't work necessarily in the air fryer. So may have, if you have an air fryer and you want to use it to baking, you may have to invest in some smaller containers, smaller dishes. A muffin tin will not work in there, so you couldn't make muffins. Okay. So, but if you do purchase equipment to use in there, make sure that it's oven safe, because if it's not, it'll break because it gets so hot. If you decide to make cookies, maybe you make up a batch of slice and bake cookies and you just want to cook a few at a time. So use parchment paper rather than a pan in there to bake on, and that will work. Okay, but again, that's if you're going to make 3, 4, 5 cookies, you know, a small number. Okay, so Ashley, are you thinking about buying one?
I don't know. I'm getting there.
You're getting there?
You kind of got a Super Bowl party going on right here, and that's not a bad idea.
I know. and you can cook it, and you don't have to worry about all that fat and oil that you were using. But, you know, it is a cost. Like I said, they'll run anywhere from $75 to $200. And depending on what you really want to do with an air fryer, because it will take up space on your cabinet. I live in a small, an older home, so my kitchen is quite small. Now remember, I bought this to replace my microwave, and it's not working for me. So now I'm going to have to buy a microwave, and I've got this air fryer. I got to find a place for it, and that's it. It's another appliance that you have to find a spot for. You need to consider, how often do you really fry foods? And you know, if you don't fry foods very often, then it probably is going to sit there on your counter taking up space more than you want to. So you want to make sure that it's worth purchasing before you go and buy it. If you really like the texture and the flavor of fried foods, you may be a little bit disappointed with what comes out of an air fryer, because it's not necessarily the exact same.
Right.
For example, my French fries that I made from scratch, because I love homemade French fries. So I'm going to continue to use my deep fat fryer for that. Oh, there's another appliance on my cabinet. So I'm going to continue to use my deep fat fryer to make my French fries and stuff. And so also you have to consider how many you're cooking for. You talked about like a Super Bowl party or some other kind of party. Well, you may not enjoy the party if you can only cook 4 or 5 pizzas of something at one time. So think about that. I mean, it sounds like a great idea that, oh, I can make this, I can make that in it, but maybe you could do that in your oven quicker and with more quantity. So, and then again, it's going to take up space on your counter. And this one is one of the mid-sized ones. So you got to have the counter space. Because if you do like most of us do with appliances and you stick it down in a cabinet, guess what? You don't use it very often, do you?
Nope.
So have I convinced you that maybe you don't need one?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I'm kind of,
You know, in retrospect, I bought this one and I truthfully kind of think I could have lived without it and done without it. And I could have had my $100 to spend somewhere else, maybe on some food to eat. I don't know. But anyhow, think about it, consider it. Is it going to be a good investment for you or not? And you know, you may find that you really don't need it just because it's a new gadget that's out there on the market. Okay? But if you got one for Christmas, as I know many people did, you need to learn how to use it and use it to your advantage. So we have some things coming up. You know, we've been doing some waffle-it programs at the local library, so you might want to catch the next one. That'll be in Hooker. What else is coming up? Oh, it's livestock show season.
Yes,
isn't
it is.
From the extension
Yep.
office. We're involved in that. And so next time, until next time.